So a very warm welcome this morning to our special Parnirvana service. This is the day of the Buddha's passing. And so we will celebrate this time together with some special chanting, some special reading, and please join in as best you can. The service will be officiated by the Venerable Haju Sunu.
the offering of tea. And the English version, composed by Parinirvana Needle, one of our Dharma teachers and residents of the temple in the 1990s, sung by Dharma student Tongsan Catherine Brown.
I put my trust in the Buddha, and I resolve that with all beings I will realize the great way, and I will cultivate a garden where where the Buddha's seed may forever thrive, and I will grow a heart of enlightenment. I put my trust in the Dharma, and I resolve that with all beings I will penetrate the sutra treasure, and I will pass through Dharma gates beyond all measure, uncovering wisdom as vast as the ocean. I put my trust in the Sangha, my brothers and sisters in time of need, and I resolve that nothing will impede our gentle walk to a world that's free, liberated society. I put my trust in these jewels three, perfect and complete right now, inside of me, this moment, and I resolve that with all beings I will dedicate each moment to their realization in this lifetime. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, in this lifetime.
Please be seated, and will the mournful chanting folks please be prepared? At the time of the Buddha's passing, it was a mournful occasion for many. And so, remembering that with all passing, part of it is mourning. So the mourning goes, say, A, E, Ooh. So we have some folks who have done this before, maybe some not, and they'll start out, and then as you feel touched or able, please join in this mournful chant at the time to commemorate the passing of the Buddha. contemplation on the key doctrines of the Buddha.
The Four Noble Truths. The truth of suffering. The truth of the cause of suffering. The truth of the cessation of suffering. The truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering.
The Eightfold Path. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration.
The three marks of conditioned existence: impermanence, non-self, and suffering to attain nirvana.
The four pure abodes. Practice of loving kindness. The practice of compassion. The practice of sympathetic joy. The practice of equanimity.
The threefold training. Shila, cultivation of morality, our ethical awakening. Samadhi, meditative concentration and awakening to the Dharma, our spiritual awakening. Prajna, cultivation of wisdom and awakening to interconnectedness, our social awakening.
Paramita, may I be generous and helpful. Shila Paramita, may I be pure and virtuous. Kshanti Paramita, may I be patient. May I be able to bear and forbear the wrongs of others. Virya Paramita, may I be strenuous, energetic, and persevering. Dhyana Paramita, may I practice meditation and attain concentration and oneness to serve all beings. Prajna Paramita, may I gain wisdom and be able to give the benefit of my wisdom to others.
From Old Path White Clouds, the chapter Be Diligent, comes the story of the last days and the passing of the Buddha. Some of our members will read aloud this story. Please compose yourself so you can listen deeply.
So those of us who are reading, we will project our voices loudly so that the microphone can pick it up.
Okay, so I'm going to encourage that. So when you hear the bell beginning to ring, it means that it would be good to read louder.
Thank you.
Since I'm the most deaf one in the
All
room.
right. It was dusk by the time the Buddha and the bhikkhus reached the forest of sal trees. The Buddha asked Ananda to prepare a place between two sal trees for him to lie down. The Buddha lay on his side, his head facing north. All the bhikkhus sat around him. They knew that the Buddha would pass into nirvana that same night.
The Buddha looked up at the trees and said, Ananda, look, it is not yet spring, but the sal trees are covered with red blossoms. Do you see the petals falling on the Tathagata's robes and the robes of all the bhikkhus? This forest is truly beautiful. Do you see the western horizon all aglow from the setting sun? Do you hear the gentle breeze rustling in the sal branches? The Tathagata finds all these things lovely and touching. Bhikkhus, if you want to please me, if you want to express your respect and gratitude to the Tathagata, there is only one way, and that is by living the teaching.
The evening was warm, and Venerable Upavana stood over the Buddha to fan him. But the Buddha asked him not to. Perhaps the Buddha did not want his splendid view of the setting sun obstructed.
The Buddha asked the Venerable Anuruddha, I do not see Ananda. Where is he?
Another bhikkhu spoke up. I saw Brother Ananda standing behind some trees weeping. He was saying to himself, I have not yet attained my spiritual goal, and now my teacher is dying. Who has ever cared more deeply for me than my teacher?
The Buddha asked the bhikkhu to summon Ananda. The Buddha tried to comfort Ananda. He said, don't be so sad, Ananda. The Tathagata has often reminded you that all dharmas are impermanent. With birth, there is death. With the rising, there is dissolving. With coming together, there is separation. How can there be birth without death? How can there be a rising without dissolving? How can there be coming together without separation? Ananda, you have cared for me with all your heart for many years. You have devoted all your efforts to helping me, and I am most grateful to you. Your merit is great, Ananda, but you can go even farther. If you make just a little more effort, you can overcome birth and death. You can attain freedom and transcend every sorrow. I know you can do that, and that is what would make me the most happy.
Turning to the other bhikkhus, the Buddha said, "No one has been as good an attendant as Ananda. Other attendants in the past sometimes dropped my robe or bowl to the ground, but never Ananda. He has taken care of all my needs from the tiniest detail to the largest tasks. Ananda always knew when and where a bhikkhu, bhikkhuni, lay disciple, king, official, or practitioner from another religious sect should meet with me. He arranged all meetings most effectively and intelligently. The Tathagata believes that no enlightened master in the past or future could have an attendant more talented and devoted than Ananda."
Venerable Ananda wiped his tears and said, "Lord, please don't pass away here. Kusinara is just a small town of mud dwellings. There are so many more worthy places like Sampa, Rajatha, Savatthi, Sikata, Kosambi, or Varanasi. Please, Lord, select such a place to pass away so that more people will have a chance to see your face one last time."
The Buddha replied, "Ananda, Kusinara is also important, even if it is no more than a small town of mud dwellings. The Tathagata finds this forest most agreeable. Ananda, do you see the saul flowers falling about me?"
The Buddha asked Ananda to go into Kushinara and announce to the Mallas that the Buddha would pass into nirvana in the grove of sal trees at that night's last watch. When the Malla people heard this news, they hastily made their way to the forest. An ascetic named Subhadda was among them. While the people took turns bowing to the Buddha, Subhadda asked Venerable Ananda if he could have an audience with the Buddha. Ananda refused, saying the Buddha was too tired to receive anyone. But the Buddha overheard their conversation and said, "Ananda, let ascetic Subhadda come with me, speak with me. The Tathagata will receive him." Ascetic Subhadda knelt before the Buddha. He had long felt drawn to the Buddha's teaching, but had never met him before. He bowed and said, "Lord, I have heard about spiritual leaders such as Purana Kassapa, Makali Gosala, Ajita, Kesakambalin, Pakuta Kachakana, Sanjaya Velatiputta, and Naganta Nataputta. I would like to ask if, according to you, any of them attained true enlightenment."
The Buddha spoke to Subhadda about the Noble Eightfold Path. He concluded by saying, "Subhadda, wherever the Noble Eightfold Path is truly practiced, you will find people who have attained enlightenment. Subhadda, if you follow this path, you too can attain enlightenment."
Ascetic Subhadda felt his heart suddenly opened. It was filled with great happiness. He asked the Buddha to accept him as a bhikkhu. The Buddha asked the Venerable Aniruddha to perform the ordination ceremony right then and there. Subhadda was the last disciple received by the Buddha.
After Subhada's head was shaved, he received the precepts and was given a robe and bowl. The Buddha then looked at all the bhikkhus sitting around him. Many bhikkhus from the vicinity had arrived, and so there were now nearly 500. The Buddha spoke to them.
Bhikkhus, if you have any doubts or perplexity concerning the teaching, now is the time to ask the Tathagata about it. Don't let this opportunity pass by, so that later you will reproach yourselves saying, "That day I was face to face with the Buddha and I did not ask him."
The Buddha repeated these words 3 times, but no bhikkhu spoke.
Venerable Ananda exclaimed, "Lord, it is truly wonderful. I have faith in the community of bhikkhus. I have faith in the Sangha. Everyone has clearly understood your teaching. No one has any doubts or perplexity about your teaching and the path to realize it."
The Buddha said, "Ananda, you speak from faith, while the Tathagata has direct knowledge. The Tathagata knows that all the bhikkhus here possess deep faith in the 3 gems. Even the lowest attainment among these bhikkhus is that of stream enterer."
The Buddha looked quietly over the community and then said, "Bhikkhus, listen to what the Tathagata now says. Dharmas are impermanent. If there is birth, there is death. Be diligent in your efforts to attain liberation."
The Buddha closed his eyes. He had spoken his last words. The earth shook, salal blossoms fell like rain. Everyone felt their minds and bodies tremble. They knew the Buddha had passed into nirvana.
The Buddha had passed away. Some bhikkhus threw up their arms and flung themselves on the ground. They wailed, "The Buddha has passed away! The Lord has died! The eyes of the world are no more. Who can we take refuge in now?" While these bhikkhus cried and thrashed about, other bhikkhus sat silently, observing their breath and contemplating the things the Buddha had taught them. Venerable Anuruddha spoke up, "Brothers, do not cry so pitifully. The Lord Buddha taught us that with birth there is death. With arising there is dissolving. With coming together there is separation. If you understand and follow the Buddha's teaching, you will cease to make such a disturbance. Please sit up again and follow your breathing. We will maintain silence."
Everyone returned to his place and followed Venerable Anuruddha's counsel. He led them in reciting sutras they all knew by heart, which spoke about impermanence, emptiness of self, non-attachment, and liberation. Calm and dignity was restored.
The malas lit torches.
Sounds of chanting echoed impressively in the dark night as everyone placed his full awareness on the words of the sutras. After a lengthy recitation, Venerable Aniruddha gave a Dharma talk. He praised the Buddha's attainments, his wisdom, compassion, virtue, concentration, joy, and equanimity. When Venerable Aniruddha finished speaking, Venerable Ananda recounted beautiful episodes from the Buddha's life. Throughout the night, the two venerables took turns speaking. The 500 bhikkhus and 300 lay disciples listened quietly. As torches burned down, new ones were lit to take their places until dawn. The 10 Dharma gates of Spring Wind Sulka. 1. Buddha Shakyamuni attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya. 2. He saw with his wisdom eye that all beings were endowed with Buddha nature, each and every one with no exception. 3. Thereafter, the Buddha spent 45 years on the road, teaching the way of Buddha to the multitude for the peace of the world and the happiness of all beings. 4. Since that time, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and great masters of the 10 directions and the 3 worlds have carried forward the truth. They have declared that all beings are Buddhas from the very beginning, striving with this teaching to save everyone from ignorance and suffering. 5. Over the centuries and successive generations, they made special vows out of compassion and used many skillful means to inspire their contemporaries and fellow beings. They urged everyone to look for the Buddha within. 6. Together, these Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and great masters have passed on to us the Dharma of hope and purification, and the way of wisdom and emancipation. They have entrusted us with the continued transmission of Dharma and the light of wisdom. 7. When we awaken to the Buddha within, surrender ourselves to the tradition of 3 jewels, and apprehend the manifestation of the 3 bodies of Buddha, then Dharma's sun begins to shine in our everyday life. The wheel of Dharma turns, we are blessed by its turning. And we live in the Dharma realm amidst the ailing and troubled world. 8. Out of our deep humility and boundless gratitude to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas before us, we wake up again and again. We vow constant practice. We strive to shine again out of clouds. Be ye a lamp. 9. Remember that it is your Buddha who meditates, lights candles, chants, and does prostrations. Remember that it is your Bodhisattva who plays the wake-up moktok, rings the bell, cleans the temple, and greets people at the door. Remember that each of your acts is nothing short of full awakening, and that each service you render completely fulfills your Bodhisattva vow to liberate all beings. 10. Stop seeking holiness. For the way of Buddha is no other than ordinary everyday life. Honor all beings, for Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are no other than common, ordinary people.
Please stand. service where we do some chanting and we offer flowers in appreciation, each of us in our own way, for the Buddhist teachings in our lives. So it will go something like this. We'll, after a little bit of chanting to start with, we'll slowly come up. I'll get it really loud. Okay, come up, making a bow toward the Buddha, and then picking one of these daffodils and again offering and bringing it over to this beautiful offering bouquet that we will keep on the altar as long as possible. Yeah. So all the while, and then when one person is finished, they can go around back to their place by going around the whole room. So we'll start with Ma'um, and then this, but you go around and come back, and then the next line starts, and the next line starts, and then we'll come over here, and Jagwa will do. So we're taking a chance not only to do the chanting, but to do walking meditation with the chant. And the chant is Suga, S-O-G-A,
Suga.
Muni, M-U-N-I,
Muni.
Bul, B-U-L,
Bul.
Suga Muni Bul.
Suga Muni Bul.
It means a couple of things. One, really the Buddha within all of us. So we're chanting about that. And then with great respect to the Buddha of the Shakya clan. That's what Sugamuni Bul means, because our Buddha was a member of the Shakya clan. So may I do the moped thing? Okay. And dear brothers and sisters, the slower the better. You know, this is a kind of visual offering for all of us as we look at the beautiful offerings that are here on the altar. And also the flowers and the kind of devotion that we're each bringing forth in our own way. It's kind of beautiful. I mean, it's very beautiful. Okay.
Please repeat after me. Let peace and happiness prevail.
Let peace and happiness prevail.
Let love and wisdom flourish.
Let love and wisdom flourish.
Let the teachings of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas spread.
Let the teachings of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas spread.
Gate, gate, paragate.
Gate, gate, paragate.
Parasamgate.
Parasamgate.
Bodhisvaha.
Bodhisvaha.
Gate, gate.
Gate, gate.
Paragate.
Paragate.
Parasamgate.
Parasamgate.
Bodhisvaha.
Bodhisvaha.
Gate, gate.
Gate, gate.
Paragate.
Paragate.
Parasamgate.
Parasamgate.
Bodhisvaha.
Bodhisvaha.
And from our founder,
Venerable Samusunam, he always wanted these lines to be offered at the end of the service. The Buddha passed away in order to prove the three marks of all conditioned phenomena: impermanence, no self, suffering, / to attain nirvana. He passed away so that each of us in successive generations could awaken like him, that we could take up training to become Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for the world. He passed away so that the legacy of Dharma and Sangha would prevail in successive generations. And he wanted to remind us, this is an interesting, Buddha was born under a tree. He became enlightened under a tree. He began to teach in a forest of trees, Deer Park. And he died, as we learned today, under 2 trees, the cell trees. So there's a message in that, for sure. Now for our transference of merit. This is an opportunity for us to offer the merit of our participation in this service today. One of the most important services in our Buddhist calendar for the benefit of beings and places that are experiencing suffering. So let's again, please repeat after me. Whatever merit we may have earned,
Whatever merit we may have earned,
we offer
we offer
for the relief of suffering
for the relief of suffering
and peace and happiness
and peace and happiness
of all beings.
of all beings.
In particular, this morning we remember the people of Ukraine and Russia. May they find peaceful ways to remain peaceful. We remember those who are without enough food. May they be nourished. We remember those who are without homes, who are refugees. May they find true refuge within themselves and truly with a place they can truly call home. Is there any other that other people would like to remember this morning? Yes.
For the children who are too hungry to survive in Afghanistan and the families who are forced to sell limbs or their children to feed the others. May they find peace.
May they find peace. Yes. Please speak out loudly.
Yes. I think of 2 kinds of people, the victims of terrorism. May they not fall in hatred, anger, and reach a sort of peacefulness when they have lost kids and family members. And I think of kids who don't see their parent or parent who don't see their kids because of harsh divorce. May they find a little bit of happiness on this hard way.
Yes. Ursula?
Those suffering from losses due to old age, dementia, and their caregivers, may they find peace.
Yes. May they find peace. Yes. Tong-song.
For all who have died and suffered through this global pandemic, and for all attempting to heal the wounds that it has caused.
I want to offer my marriage to all Ukrainians. Today is
Take your mask down.
I want to offer the marriage to all Ukrainians who suffered through all these years and face another invasion now. They are very resilient people and they're very kind people.
May they find peace. Yes, and please speak up. We'd like to hear you.
I'd like to offer the merit that may be accumulated today to those struggling with addiction and those who have loved ones struggling with addiction. May they find peace.
Just barely. Would you repeat it? Like you were yelling at me.
Those struggling with addiction and those with loved ones who are struggling with addiction.
Yeah. You know, just our very thinking goes out into the world in a very invisible but real kind of way. And our words. We must never forget that everything that we do has an effect in this world of cause and effect. And so even yelling at me, those things, is very good. Anyone else? Yes, ma passam.
Especially for children who are betrayed by adults who they think they can trust.
Sulka
Muni Bo Sulka Muni Bo Sulka Muni Bo Sulka Muni Bo Sulka Muni Bo Sulka Muni Bo Sulka Muni Bo Sulka Muni Bo
Sulka Muni Bo Sulka
Muni Bo Sulka Muni Bo Sulka Sulka Muni Bo 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 Sulka Muni Bo.
Let's repeat the 4 great vows and then announcements. All beings, one body.
All beings, one body.
I vow to liberate.
I vow to liberate.
Blind passions, one root.
Blind passions, one root.
I vow to terminate.
I vow to terminate.
Dharma gates, one mind.
Dharma gates, one mind.
I vow to penetrate.
I vow to penetrate.
The great way of Buddha.
The great way of Buddha.
I vow to realize.
I vow to realize.
Good morning. Thank you for such a beautiful service, everybody who participated. We have a new schedule for the next couple of months. It's out there. Please pick one up if you'd like to have one, but I'll go over a few things. There are a couple meetings today after our session. I think the Dharma Recovery meets downstairs, and the Good Death group, which is a closed group, is meeting over at the Sulka Hall. So there are a lot of sign-up sheets you'll see on the table out there, and I urge you to take a look. There's a sign-up sheet to be on the e-bulletin list so that it'll come to your email. Sign-up sheet for our yoga classes on Tuesday evening. They are now open classes instead of closed, so you can start at any time, and it's a $12 drop-in fee. We have a 5-week meditation group coming up, meeting in person, I think, here. And then we have an overnight one coming up as well, if you don't want to dedicate 5 evenings to that. And all the days and times are out there. We have a couple online groups that you're welcome to join. We have a Wednesday night sitting, and we have a Thursday morning Way of the Bodhisattva group. And those are sign-up sheets so that you can be sent the link for those. I think I've gotten most of the things, but I do know that there are some things about the temple transition. There's a sign-up sheet to join a group about that. And do you want to say anything about that?
Just that there's going, I don't think so.
Okay, so there's some transitions going on within the temple structure. So if you'd like to be in on the groups to get more details and express your feelings and hear what actual plans are, please sign up for that. If I've forgotten anything, does anybody want to say yes?
Is there a date for a precepts course?
Yes. Sorry. The precepts course started not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. So we've already started for this year, but we'll have another one next year.
Oh, well, maybe somebody could join late, couldn't they?
Is that okay?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
You decide to
can
take
sign
it
up late.
So talk to me afterwards and I can get you the information then. Yep.
Our organization, of course, is run by kind donations. So we have a fishbowl out there. If you have a monetary donation you'd like to give, there's also a symbol for paying by PayPal. And if you'd like to volunteer in any way, please see anybody in a gray something, and maybe they can help you figure out something that needs to be done around here. There's always interesting, wonderful things to do in a beautiful community here.
I just remembered, we're lucky today to have a member of our Chicago temple. She came for a visit, stayed overnight last night, and she's going to be on the way back. This is Kongshil, right here. Helped us in the service too.
Thank you, Hutchins.
We're really happy when members of our other temples come and join us, and we can also do that ourselves when we're going to other services. Other Toronto, Chicago, with Mexico City would be the ones that could have visitors.
Well, Mexico sounds pretty good right now. Mexico sounds good right now. Yes. Anything else? It's a pleasure to have you all. Oh, go ahead, please.
Yeah, but I didn't think of asking if permission to Mahum and Aju this morning. So I just give the idea. I wanted to propose a free twice a week Tai Chi class in the university. And I was thinking, because I've been practicing for 20 years. So if you find this a good idea, I would be happy to do that for free, and people would give a donation to the temple twice a week on Tuesday and Thursday. And but I didn't think in the breakfast to propose to you if it was a good idea. So if people find it a good idea, tell it to the boss, and they will tell me it's okay, and we probably will do it in the garden or somewhere. I don't know. It's just an idea which came to my mind. But sorry, I didn't ask.
Okay, we'll see. Let's sort it out.
Yeah,
and see
exactly.
what happens.
Well, I give the idea, and you say.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes,
Siobhan.
you're welcome.
Please stand for our 3 formal vows to end. Sorry, I hope I wasn't too. Okay. Somebody came in very last minute when the ceremony was going and walked in the door. Okay. All right, palm to palm.
Good morning, Hunter. Oh. Hi.
What?
How you doing? You're becoming our most frequent attendee. How's the yoga class? Oh, you did this. Oh, interesting. Good morning. Hey.
We usually